Hey guys, how's it going? It's Kire here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and in today's video, I'm breaking down some of the new stuff that Plarium just told us about that is coming our way tomorrow. So 1.14 is here very soon. I'm still waiting on for the patch to go live, and then the next day we're going to be getting some new content. So before I get into it, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's get to it. In the content creator Discord, so here's the breakdown. This is what they said. They gave this information to us. They just gave this information to us a couple hours ago. This is the first we've heard of it. Is hello all. Well, we are going to launch a new fusion tomorrow. It will be a new legendary champion from the Lizard faction, Skull Lord Vargal. It's the defense type champion with force affinity. Also, all the players will receive another nice quarantine gift. And then they said that we can share that information. So that's what I'm breaking down that information to you guys. So we asked a few questions about it. They confirmed that there's no new champions, so all pre-existing, so that should help out with the fusion. So then we asked a few questions about it. So it looks like there's absolutely no new champions, so which is really nice. The combination of fusion, a new fusion plus new characters to make the fusion is really frustrating, especially people that save epics for this particular situation. We made sure it looks like it's going to be old epics, so at least according to what they're saying over here, which is pretty nice. Also, they gave us a little teaser trailer, a little teaser screenshot for the fusion I can show you as well. So here's the screenshot. This is like a little teaser that they gave us. It's not an actual video, even though it looks like it. It's just a screenshot of what the video will be. So here you get a little sneak peek. It looks like he's a big guy over all these smaller ones. Doesn't really give us much information, but force affinity, defense. Hopefully he's a good character. Hopefully he's actually useful. Exciting for a new fusion, I guess. But so I figured out in the video off by doing a little recap of what's to come in 1.14. So if you're done, this is the new stuff coming. A little quickly, it's going to be new fusion tomorrow, and also a nice bonus for like a quarantine bonus like they did last time, which is actually pretty sweet. Last time it was like 2K energy, which is actually pretty awesome. So I'll take that for sure. But yeah, let's do a little quick recap of what's to come in 1.14. That should be hitting here very soon, and then that should wrap up the video. And so then quickly going over it. So we got a quality of life feature. So this is the one everyone's pretty excited about. It's going to be the quality of life feature for the artifact filtering. That's coming live incredibly soon. Hopefully we'll be able to get some footage of that. If it comes up pretty quickly, if the servers are not down for too long, I'll throw some footage at the end of this for this guy. Also, we got the champion collection capacity increase, so which is pretty dope. Double the number of champions that we can stick outside the champion vault. That is 200 champions once all slots have been. That is 200 champions once all slots have been unlocked. That's going to be really convenient too. It's super annoying having to deal with that. This one I wasn't expecting them to actually do with this patch, but I'm actually really excited with is this clan boss counter. It's going to really help for really dialing in teams. I think a lot of clans are going to take advantage of that. It's going to be pretty sweet. Just only a good thing. I really wish, like I said in my last video of the actual 1.14, I wish they prioritized fixing the issue of clans only needing 15 people to clear it. Like I really wish they would just increase the health pool or make it like unlimited, and after a certain threshold, that's when we get double chests. So like there's so many elegant solutions to fixing this to where we actually are incentivized to having a bigger clan. I wish I'd prioritize that instead of this, even though it's kind of the quality of life I really want is this. I'm totally okay with them doing an artifact filtering before the tower, for example, more new content, but I'm totally not okay with this whole counter thing over them just fixing the clan boss situation. So just kind of annoying that they don't seem to be in a rush to fix that. And then lastly, going to be some buffs. So I've had a little bit more time to go over them. I'm going to go over the buffs again. When it comes to these characters, I think that the big one everyone knows about is going to be Mashald. But me personally, I think maybe I've looked a lot closer at this because I actually have them. But I think Lord Chamford actually is going to be pretty good. It's really going to come down to how well his HP scaling is for his damage. But if he's hitting closer to, doesn't have to hit as hard, but as close to like Sir Nick versus, Harvest Jack, I think he's actually gonna be pretty sweet. And his shield value being doubled is going to be absolutely nuts, because currently it's already as much of his max HP, and then you double that, you just crazy character. And then he actually hits decently hard. He's going to be this monster with a ton of HP, be good in faction wars, going to be good if you're like an early game player clearing stuff. Depending on how hard he hits, I don't really see him being an arena character, but or neither a clan boss character, but I can see him just being a solid dungeon / faction wars character. And then we got Mashald. He's getting the super sick buff that everyone's really excited about. Everyone that has a Mashald is finally like that. People are calling this like a Draco level buff. But so we got his A1, which is going to be attacks on enemy, attacks all enemies under the leech debuff, heals the champion for by 30% of the damage inflicted. And then he's also getting places a 30% increased speed buff and a 30% increase crit damage buff on this champion and all allies for 2 turns, places a true fear and a leech debuff on all enemies for 2 turns, grants this champion an extra turn, and then has an 80% chance to steal all buffs from a target enemy, then attacks that target, places a 100% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns, places 2 15% continuous heal buffs on this champion for 3 turns, inflicts 50% more damage against targets under buffs. So I think there's a lot here. This is a pretty unique kit now because he has the increase in crit damage combination with heal reduction and continuous healing. It's tough to theorize exactly where he's going to fit into it, but just looking at his kit, he does so much more now that it's really hard to argue that he's not going to be really good. It's just figuring out how good he's going to be. I think it's going to take some play testing. And then not really too stoked about the Mordo Macabre and the War Chief buffs. Here we got a provoke chance increase to 25% up from 15. Not much to write home about. Cooldown reduction on his A2. And then Ascended steals 2 buffs with a 100% chance up from 75%. So the stealing buffs is really good. And the fact that it wasn't 100%, now it is, that's good. It's almost like this is where he should be. And I still think he's going to be underpowered, but I could be wrong. It's going to be tough to say. It just doesn't seem that impactful of a change to make War Chief from a character no one uses to even usable. When there's characters like Madame Ceres that, steals all the buffs. Yeah, so doesn't steal them, but cleanses them all. And then defense increased by 15% for each dead ally. And then also he has a move that is encouraged to have your teammates dead, which is just never going to be good in a game like this. Mordo Macabre seems like slight buffs. He's always been kind of okay, nothing too crazy, but not too bad either. And increasing his secret skill that's going to help him out in in arena, faction wars, and pretty much everywhere that he's actually used. But not going to like turn him to this massive game changer. And then his other move is going to be each hit has a 90% chance of placing block buffs, debuffs for 2 turns. Block buffs debuff is great. It's a really good move. And then also it becomes unresistible if they have a heal reduction, which, not many people use heal reduction. So I don't see the unresistible part, even though if it didn't have that condition, it was just unresistible. This would be an amazing move. This would be on the level of Rushcard. Rushcard has a very similar move on his A2. Which is kind of a bummer that he's not getting the unresistible portion unless he has a condition. I still think he's okay if you have him. It's not like he's a bad legendary, but he's definitely not top tier. And then Richtof is a little interesting. He's obviously pretty garbage right now, but he's getting a few buffs to him, like especially his A2 changing. I think he can actually be good when new content gets released. So he's getting decreases each target's max HP by 30% of the damage dealt out from 10. This type of, it's going to take new content for that destroy style effect to ever be good, in my opinion. It's just, there's just nothing right now that's good with. And then, but his A2 though is attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit places a 5% poison debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. I think this would be hilarious if they actually, there's rumors of the Hydra clan boss thing. I can see this being awesome for that. I could also see this being good in, if you're doing speed farms with like Zavia, adding all those poisons and she just nukes them all. I think that could be really cool too. Just cool, like 1-2 punch there. But other than that, I'm not seeing anything too crazy. And then lastly, attacks one enemy deals an additional 20% crit damage for each poison debuff on the target up to 100% crit damage. So I guess we'll have to see how hard this hits now. But overall, I think he went from trash to okay. And then Duchess, she's just changing. She's getting nerfed, but the Veil buff itself is getting buffed. So it's pretty much a wash. And then the one that so there's 3 epic changes here in Vergis, Oathband, and a Cold Brawler. The one I was a little confused about with a Cold Brawler was his skill no longer has a cooldown. I was pretty sure that he was able to do his poison every time. Every turn, but apparently not. I've confirmed. I asked the Plarium reps about this, and they said now he wasn't able to, now he can. So that's going to be amazing. He was already one of the best poisoners in the game. Now he's absolutely the best. Like that's such a massive change. If that's true, I don't know if that's true, but I asked them, they confirmed it. So I'm definitely going to be playtesting him almost immediately because I have one fully built, and then so more to come when it comes to Occult Brawler, and then I think Vergis actually is going to be good now. He's actually going to be a good carry in the sense that, he's going to protect your team pretty well now, which is he has, his Aegis is in addition to the original effects now places a 50% ally protection on all allies except this champion. It used to be just like target one character. It was absolutely garbage. And then for this champion, and a 60% increased defense on this champion, which is awesome. It's pretty in line with if you're going to have an ally protection. Usually I prefer a shield, but increased defense is good. And then in addition to the original effect, now places a shield buff on this champion equal to 10% of the champion's max HP for 2 turns when this champion loses 50% HP, which it used to be when it was at 50% health. So they just like a 500% buff off of that. And then he's going to give himself, in addition to the original shield buff on this champion, equal to 10% of the max HP. So it's pretty massive. Pretty massive change there. And then Oathbound, I looked at him. He's definitely better, but I'm not really seeing too much of a change that's going to warrant him getting used, but I could be wrong. I was thinking maybe like a Faction Wars character because he has a lot of control in his moves. Yeah, he has, 4 times block cooldown skills. You can combine that with like stun or daze gear, and then you'll get a little extra CC on top of that. He's getting more base speed, which is always good, but nothing too crazy there. And then so lastly, really quick, we got, Faction Wars is getting easier. Platinum tier is getting so that you can't have platinum tiers, making it to where you can't boost people as well. They're making the revive changes so it's very similar to the unkillable. So they're nerfing that to where you can only go 50 turns. And then small thing but kind of cool is the Leech and Perfect Veil. It's gonna be fun to play test these characters that have Leech and Perfect Veil, with Leech getting a buff because it definitely was undertuned. It's a cool effect that was definitely undertuned. And then it's going up from 10% to 18%. And then champions under a Veil and Perfect Veil get a 7.5 and a 15% respectively damage reduction from all incoming AoE attacks. So that's really cool. And then fear changes to where it's going to be significantly hard, not significantly, but it's going to be harder to apply it. And then masteries are not going to affect it. So we took some time to monitor fear debuffs in game, and we'll apply certain limitations to in update 1.14. Like all other crowd control debuffs, it will no longer be subject to increased defense duration or spread debuff effects. This applies to Master Hexer and Sniper Masteries as well, as they are no longer increase the chance of applying Fear or True Fear debuffs. The following Masteries will now affect or include Fear or True Fear, and then they list them all right there. And then lastly, the whole fusion, make it to where you can actually see if you have them in your vault, if you have the characters required for the fusion. So really cool change there. Overall, that's 1.14. That's also the new stuff that they're adding tomorrow. So hopefully you guys enjoy 1.14. Hopefully they also don't have as many issues as they did with previous patches. I guess I'll find out here in about 5-10 minutes if that's the case. All right, guys, well, that should do it for this video. If you like content like this, please consider subscribing, hit the like button, and you have a good one. Peace.